This is an RNZ podcast.
I'm at a warm and cosy home in West Auckland, where I'm greeted at the door with a pair of kids' shoes hurriedly cast to one side. Inside, the floor is strewn with toys and books. I'm here to learn about some women who are finding their calling right inside their own living rooms.
The people on the bus jump
Up and down.
and down.
Up and down.
For new migrant women, especially when they've got young children, it's, you know, back where we come from, it takes a village to raise a child, and we have a village normally back home, and then you come here and it's quite isolating because you know no one else, you trust no one else with your children, so it's quite scary to put your child somewhere else and then go and work, and so it's quite nice being able to stay home and make an income and not be able to compromise on the care of your own child, as well as provide some loving care for up to 3 other children.
Yeah, and make some extra.
Yeah, and make a bit of extra income to contribute to the household income as well.
Extra
So.
income.
Kia ora, it's me, Kadambri Ragukumar, with today's episode of Here Now, where I'm looking at stories of women who are partnering with Barnados to provide home-based education and care. That's Hanin Taqieh you just heard. She's a community coordinator with Barnados. She leads a portfolio supporting about 40 home-based educators in Auckland, including her own mum, Iman, whose home I'm at today. Iman looks after a maximum of 4 kids most days. One of them is her grandson, Hanin's child, who you can hear in the background.
What I find with a lot of our educators that started in conversations with them is when they arrive here, they definitely feel isolated. I can totally speak to that as well. And then it makes it hard for them to sort of adjust to a new country when they find it hard. For example, English is not the first language, right? So how are they going to go out and do a job interview? Like, they don't drive maybe, so it's quite intimidating for them to go out and maybe socialize or find friends. Like, how do you just randomly find friends, you know, or try find a job or anything like that? So starting your own business from home like this, where you're comfortable at home, you're looking after your own children, perhaps. You don't have to drive somewhere, you don't have to go and face job interviews, things like that. And they also get to meet and socialise with parents and other educators.
Home-based childcare is picking up in New Zealand, Hanin tells me, particularly post-COVID. Like her son, Hanin also grew up with other children in her mum's home-based care. That's going back to 2002 when the family first arrived here from Jordan. Iman, Hanin's mum, is from northeast India's Assam and married her Palestinian husband and moved to Jordan. In 2002, the family, along with a very young Hanin, moved to Auckland. Here's Iman.
What happened is when I came here to New Zealand, so I was raising them. She was maybe about 7 years old, or I don't know, like this, 7.5, 8. And my boy was 4, and the little one, she was just born here. So we had 3 children, and it was 20 years ago, it was hard for me to go out and find work. So somebody I know suggested me that instead of sitting at home, so you could maybe also earn, because these guys are over 5, he and my boy, other little boy was over 5 then. So I said, what can I do for that? He said, you have to do just a little training, and then maybe you can run a daycare from home. I said, oh, that's a good idea. So that's how it started. I did a little course, and then I said, okay, let me do Barnado, look after my child and other people's children as well, give a safe place, play with them. And I started, and I did not feel any need for me to go find any other job somewhere, because I've been always full with children, kids.
And what did you do back in Jordan?
I didn't work in Jordan, I stayed home. But here it's different. In Jordan, everything is paid for. You see, like, you don't pay mortgage, you don't pay like electricity, my father-in-law, power, everything is paid. So I did not feel any need to work. But I studied, I have this master's in political science, you see.
That sort of career shift isn't uncommon with women taking up jobs as home-based early childhood educators, Hanin says, who herself made that sort of career jump by joining Barnados like her mum. And how did you, mother and daughter, what a fantastic combination. You obviously picked up a few skills from your
A
mom.
lot, yeah.
But you also were obviously inspired by the idea that this is something you could take up as a career as well.
Yeah, well, I've only been in this role actually for a year. So I'm quite new to this industry. So my background is actually in graphic design and arts. Yeah, so before that, I was working, before joining this role, I was working in like a corporate design firm in the city. So, doing that type of stuff. So very corporate life. And then I had my son. I was on maternity leave. And then, everything's by the grace of God. So my old employer told me that he couldn't give me the full-time hours anymore once I came back. So I was like, maybe this is my chance to sort of have a little bit of a career shift. And having a child sort of opened my eyes to, I want to do something a bit more meaningful. I thought maybe I should be contributing a little bit more. Got my own child now, my heart got a bit softer, so.
So was it easy for you to make that shift? Because you're obviously coming from a corporate world to working in home-based care. Those are two entirely different universes, really.
So my role involves marketing, events, inquiries, relationship building with other organizations, things like that. So that's where a bit of my corporate world, supplier relationships and marketing and design and stuff sort of comes in handy in this role. And then I get a lot of experience and, life experience and stuff from mum as well. Her being from the childcare industry, kind of, I picked up a lot of things from her and I kind of mashed the two for this role. So, so my role is quite diverse.
So what's the incentive? Why does Hanin think home-based care is actually a great option?
It is quite a difference financially going to a daycare versus going to for a parent versus going to home-based. Home-based is sometimes slightly a bit more expensive because each educator charges their own rates. They're self-employed contractors, and so depending on what area they're in, what experience they have, they charge their rates accordingly. But for parents, it is a bit of give and take. They're getting that specialized care for their child. The educator can do a routine, work with a specialized routine with the parents for the child and stuff, which is things that you can't probably do in a daycare with more children, more staff, things like that. So it's especially after COVID, a lot of parents have been very wary of illnesses and things like that. Yeah, so I get a lot of inquiries of parents wanting to take their children out of daycare because they're in daycare for 2 days and then home for 10 days, that sort of thing, especially around this time of year. So they're looking for a smaller environment, a bit more homely. Yeah, and some kids also don't settle well in daycares, so the parents feel like a smaller environment would be better for them, something that's a bit more like home. Yeah.
So how does it work in terms of actual socialization of children?
Yeah.
What about that aspect?
We actually do playgroups, so we've got playgroups, and each educator actually takes the children out. So people think that in a home-based setting they're just sitting behind four walls all day. That's not necessarily true. So the educators do take them out, even if they don't drive, they take them out for walks to the local parks, they go to the libraries. So they're well capable to take the children out to go and socialise with other kids. And we also have Barnados playgroups available as well, that all the educators come together. The biggest one that we have is in Linfield, and all the educators from that area come together every Thursday morning, and they all come and we do activities with them. We also have excursions. Educators meet each other in each other's homes as well. So there's lots of opportunities for the children to interact with other children as well. They're not just always stuck in the house like people might think.
Iman, having done this for 20 years, is quick to chime in.
The home-based educators like us, we are also no different, not any much different than the things that they do in the daycare as well. And the plus point is there here, the children get less sick and they get better care and better this one curriculum. We follow the same curriculum, the Fariki, what they follow in the daycare.
So it's the same curriculum?
Yes, we follow the same curriculum, yes. Same, study, same education, same curriculum, same learning and everything, same. Plus, here you get less sickness, less bugs going around and more one-to-one. So that's why most parents, they like in a smaller place like this because they're getting the same curriculum and plus also so many benefit, and we are flexible more because daycare aren't flexible, because if sometimes parents say, okay, 6:30, can I bring 6:30? We go out of our way, okay, we adjust at 6:30, but daycare is say 7:30 till 5, yeah, and that's it. You have to pick him at 5. For us, they can ring us and tell us that, okay, can we bring 6:30? Okay. So today I have a meeting, I'll be a bit late. Can I, instead of 5 o'clock booked hours, so can I pick him at 6? We said, okay. Or 6:30, yeah, okay, like this. I mean, it's more flexible. So that makes a huge difference to the parents.
Do you have to be a parent to be a home-based daycare provider?
No, you don't have to be a parent, but you have to have some sort of experience working with children. Because you would know that there is a certain amount of patience required to deal with children. So if you've got some sort of experience, if the only experience you have is being a parent, that's still good enough. Yeah. But if you're not a parent, but you have a background in working in ECE or something like that, or even if you have a background in, like, just being surrounded by lots of families, children and cousins and younger kids and stuff, that's still experience.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a very high trust model. Leaving your child in someone else's home, which is not a supervised environment, for example, like a daycare would be or a school would be. There's other teachers and other supervisors around. So it's a very high trust model. So we have a lot of things and policies in place and checks to make sure that our educators are fit to be doing that. Yeah.
One of the major incentives, Hanin tells me, are the cultural familiarities that make parents choose home-based care. The Taqiehs are a family that speak a lot of languages: Arabic, Hindi, Cantonese, English and Assamese amongst them. So they're well aware of how important language is for building that community connection, especially for new migrants with young children in New Zealand.
We make them feel very included. And or some India, they'll say namaste, yeah? Or some Bangladesh say salam, we say salam, how they greet each other, the parents. So we are very actually inclusive as an organization. It's a very inclusive. We weave in their culture into our curriculum, Yeah.
And also educators that have diverse, they speak multiple languages and stuff. That's actually a plus in a home-based setting, because you find I get a lot of inquiries, like I handle inquiries for home-based for Auckland. I get a lot of inquiries, for example, that say, oh, we're a Sri Lankan family. We want our son to be speaking Sri Lankan, for example. Do you have any Sri Lankan educators who speak it? Yeah, Mandarin, similar. Our kids, they're exposed to so much English here, of course. You can't help it. English is everywhere, right? And so parents are worried about their children losing their mother tongue. So they specifically ask me if we have any Mandarin-speaking, Indian-speaking, Arab-speaking educators. For example, we've got a few educators who, they might be Kiwi or they might be Indian or whatever, but the child might be of a different ethnicity, different language. And so the family has requested that the educator, do certain things in certain languages, and that's flexible, completely flexible. The educator can do that. And I've had situations where an educator has actually asked the family to write down basic words they use at home every day, so she continues doing that with the child. What's the word for shoes and what's the word for wash your hands and things, and so they continue that at their own home setting as well. It is basically a home away from home.
And as we see Auckland grow, commutes getting longer and communities growing bigger, sounds like growth is the order of the day for Hanin's network of educators.
I would love more educators, especially in East Auckland and North Shore. We get a high demand for home-based educators, and I've only got a few in those areas that are always full, and they've got wait lists. So I'm always looking for more educators. We've got a good, we're spread out well, but we just need more, to be honest, to meet the demand, and the demand has definitely gone up.
Hanin and Iman Taqieh of Barnados talking to me there. My name's Kadamri Raghukumar, and every week I bring you a new episode of Here Now, featuring people from all around the world who live in New Zealand. You can find more episodes of Here Now on all your favourite podcast platforms, as well as on the RNZ website, where you might find some videos and photos as well. Thanks for listening.